Hello, my name is Blue Plays, and we just came out of an amazing day of League of Legends. The highlight being T1 versus Damwon Kia. Let's talk about it. But before we get into the video, if you enjoy this video or want to stay notified about my future uploads, please consider subscribing to my channel. Before we get into the games themselves, it is good to know that T1 stayed with the same roster as their previous series against Nongshim Red Force. I really liked this decision and I hope they stay with the current roster because the less changes they make, the more this team will improve in the next couple weeks. I also believe that Damwon had the best drafts for all three games. Not only are they amazing at drafting, but they're really good at taking advantages of these draft leads. And overall, that made Damwon have the upper hand in almost every game played in the series. The only pick I disagreed with that Damwon chose was Kayn. I disagree with that champion being played, especially in blue form, and I don't think it provides much for the playstyle that the team was set up to do. And I believe that's also a major factor why Damwon lost game 2. But moving on to game 1, T1 drafted very overconfidently. They chose a lot of solo queue champions such as Irelia, Lucian, Camille. They relied a lot on winning lane, and unfortunately they blundered a lot in the early game, such as Keria getting killed at the start, as well as Irelia's performance in mid lane closer did have a little bit of a troll play there. And unfortunately this awful start set the tone for the rest of the game. T1 did engage some really exciting fights, but unfortunately because of their deficit it wasn't enough to help them win the game. So unfortunately game 1 resulted in Damwon's win. Going into game 2, I was really worried about how T1 was going to reset their mental. With a lot of rookie players, you often see a single loss can tilt the entire team and cause an easy 2-0 sweep. But T1 displayed a complete mental reset, and this looks really good on the coaching staff for T1, showing that they can train their players to be able to be, to a point, immune to tilt, which is excellent to see. Game 2 draft looked a lot better than the previous draft. Unfortunately, it still did look like Damwon had a better draft. But T1 did pick up Fasting Senna, which is currently a very good strategy once again. Keria and Ona absolutely blew up in this game. Keria not only basically didn't miss any hooks, but he managed to get so many picks on players like Showmaker, etc. And overall, every single fight was probably won because of Keria. Ona also played impeccably in the jungle and had a massive lead over Canyon for most of the game, allowing him to counter gank 24/7, and none of Canyon's ganks ended up working out favored. This eventually allowed T1 to take a dominating victory over Damwon in game 2. Game 3 came along this time, and unfortunately Canyon chose his signature pick, Nidalee, and the jungle difference was very huge this game. Unfortunately, Ona couldn't stand to Canyon's notorious Nidalee, and the game started to crumble from the get-go. T1 did draft very skirmish orientated, but unfortunately they didn't succeed in taking the picks they needed to try and win the game. And unfortunately, even close rise, there was some questionable realm warps, and in the end Damwon managed to clean up this series. One of the interesting things I saw in most of these games is T1 had an over-eagerness to fight after they've already won a fight. For example, T1 would get a nice 2-for-3 trade, but unfortunately T1 would continue chasing too far into the enemy jungle or into the enemy lane, eventually resulting in Damwon reversing them and acing them back. This happened in multiple situations, for example Ryze's Realm Warp under tower, T1's chase into the enemy jungle, and even though these plays did make the game very interesting to watch, it's really sad to see T1 get punished for their own proactivity, and I hope with more experience these players will be able to judge the situations better and hopefully avoid mistakes like these that could actually help them win more games. Overall, looking at this game, T1 were never set to win. They set to train their players against one of the tougher teams, previous world champion Damwon Kia, and they did that. Also, managing to take one game off them is really good for these players, and hopefully these small victories will help lead up to something great in the next couple weeks to come. So as long as T1 sticks to some more consistent rosters like this, we should see some general improvement overall, and eventually hopefully see them in playoffs to fight Damwon again. And as always, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, and if you want to see more uploads, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Blue Plays, and have a great day.